but this is going to be a game changer because what's going to happen is, like I told you guys before, it's going to allow us to integrate with QuickBooks without changing anything on the merchant side other than adding Biller Genie. And then we also have the option through Elevon to offer same day funding. So that means nights, weekends, holidays, merchants will be able to get what we call real-time payments. There's no longer waiting till Monday for your weekend sales. You get your money right then and there. If you process on the 4th of July, guess what? You get your money on the 4th of July on the bank rail. So this is really cool. So I'm gonna shut up. Jake, it's in your hands. Write down your questions and answers, guys, and we'll pick up once he's done with his presentation.
Awesome. And then another thing to touch on that, like everything that Steven said is 100% on point. But another thing is like even the companies that may not necessarily like QuickBooks, I actually have a couple people in my networking group that use QuickBooks just because it takes care of everything for them, like Steven said. But at the same time, they don't want to switch because they don't want to learn a new process. They don't want to learn another system to send their invoices. And so the great thing about Biller Genie, the system that I'm going to show you today, is that nothing really actually changes in their process for sending invoices. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Uh, if you guys can just give me a thumbs up and let me know that you're seeing my screen. Awesome. So again, so this is our QuickBooks. So I'm just going to go through real quick and show you kind of again that nothing really changes. So I'm going to go to myself. We have created a couple like test customers. So this is myself. I'm going to open, this is my customer, and I'm going to create a new invoice. And so what we'll see here again is this all of the same customer information that they would normally see pulls up. We're going to go ahead and add, just for the demo purposes, a case of paper. And then we have like a special discount just for this test transaction. So you'll see the rate is $30. We have minus 29. So the invoice is actually going to be sent for $1. And again, all of this data that you're going to see here, Biller Genie sees, and it's going to pull it over to a separate invoice. And so you have these different terms. So a lot of our customers, some of them are on net 30 or net 60. They can still keep all of those same settings. Biller Genie will recognize that and accept it. But I'm going to keep this due on receipt just for today's demo. And then instead of the one thing I guess that would technically change is instead of clicking review and send, they'll just click save and close. And what that does is that is actually going to save it down like it normally would in QuickBooks, but Biller Genie will now recognize this invoice. And now this dashboard is Biller Genie. I'm going to show it to you just for the instance of being able to show you this demo. As a business owner, or for the business owners that you're going to be showing this to, they don't necessarily need to go to this dashboard. Again, as soon as that invoice is, they click close and review, I'm sorry, save and close, Biller Genie takes over and it creates a custom invoice for them and automatically sends it out. Everything is automated. They don't have to come into this dashboard and find that invoice and then send it again. I'm just doing this for the demo purposes. I also have my email, which is the email that is used for that customer. So we'll also see another invoice come through in just a second. But while we're waiting for that, I'll show you this dashboard. You'll see that as soon as we open this dashboard, it'll show us our sale volume today. Again, this is just kind of a demo account, a sale volume this month, and then the sale volume this year. And then so again, it just kind of shows you breaks it down very at a quick glance. But then what we'll do is we'll open invoices. And then we're going to click this sync button. And what that does is it's going to sync Biller Genie to our QuickBooks, and it's going to look for any open invoices that we might have or any invoices that we've just created in since the last sync. And the QuickBooks the Biller Genie will run a sync in the morning and in the evening, but you can always run a manual sync just to kind of see any invoices that have come through since then. But while this is syncing, obviously I'll talk. Let's see if the invoices come through here. Not quite yet. Okay, I'll keep talking then. So what we'll see is I'll actually open up this invoice just to kind of show you what it would look like. You'll see that this invoice was pulled, all of this data was pulled over from QuickBooks. So we didn't have to create this invoice or go in here and create another invoice. All of this data was pulled over from QuickBooks. And we have a couple of different options. A lot of things, if you want to open it back up in QuickBooks, you can click this button. It'll open up in a new tab. We can export this to a PDF and send it in another email if you need to. Or we can just click send invoice again, and it will email it again directly to that customer. Another thing that we can do is generate a payment link. So like for myself, I'm on a MacBook, and so it might be nice that I have the ability to text people from my MacBook and receive texts that people send me to my MacBook. And so if I'm texting my clients, I can click this generate payment link, and then you'll see it's been copied to my clipboard. I can either open that up in an email or a text message, paste that into the customer and send it to them, and they'll receive that email or that link. And then what they'll see is this, and they'll see that, again, they see that invoice amount. They can view that invoice again, which would just download to a separate PDF in a separate tab. But they'll see the due date. Again, this one's kind of overdue. But you'll see, this is the beautiful thing about Biller Genie that QuickBooks could never do, is that we allow compliant dual pricing. And so what that means is we allow you to pass a technology fee for accepting a credit card. But obviously you see here that there is no fee, no additional fee to pay by ACH. And again, that's called compliant dual pricing. It's not a bait and switch where you're saying, okay, pay by card for a total of 600, and then you click on it and they're like, oh, just kidding, here's a 4% fee. They clearly see right now that, okay, the invoice was $600. If I want to pay by card, they're showing me the total already, $624 to pay by card. Or if I don't want to pay by card, I can pay by ACH with no, again, no additional fees. And the cost for merchant is, again, for us, it's a $2 for Magathi payments. I'm speaking, again, this would be a question for Stephen. For Magathi payments, it's a $2 flat fee for all ACH payments. But let me go and show you actually the invoice that came through that I sent during the test, just to show you the full process. So again, I'm the customer now. I just received this invoice from Magathi Payments for my case of paper for $1. I can see that invoice number, the amount, the due date, and then I'll view and pay this. And again, similar, $1 or $1.04. You know what? I'll take the 4% fee. It's okay. I'll pay those 4 cents. So I'll click pay by card, and then this is the exact process. So they would see that all the businesses, if they see anything that needs to be changed, they can go in and do that. If they need to update the billing address, they can do all of that. They will enter their card information.
Can I see that card info again?
No, not too much. Let me scroll down a little bit further.
Jake, we got to blur that out on the recording.
Yeah, no
so
worries.
I'm gonna make sure we blur out the numbers.
But again, the great thing is they'll see the subtotal, they'll see the technology fee. They have no way of changing that. You'll see that I can't edit that. I can't be like, oh no, I don't actually want to pay the full amount. Again, we can split payments. Biller Genie can do split payments and all that fun stuff. But the way that we have this invoice sent, I didn't allow them to change anything. So I can't change any of that. I can't change the invoice number again because we don't want to. But the beautiful thing is I can store this payment method for future use, which is something that QuickBooks cannot do. And at least enable Autopay for future transactions. So because I'm going to do that, I'll show you guys. We're going to process this payment. Processing. All right, it was approved. Transaction has gone through. So now we're going to go back to our dashboard here, and we're going to see that I set up Autopay. So now, because I set up Autopay, I have allowed this merchant, Magathi Payments, that whenever they send me an invoice, my card is stored there. I trust them. And again, not everybody's going to do this, but we're just showing you this feature. I've allowed them that they can go ahead and run an invoice. I'll still get all the notifications, so I can still reject an invoice, or I'll see an invoice come through, and get all of the notifications that I've paid. So it's not like we're blinding them and letting them know that, like, okay, don't set it and forget it. But we're showing you that that feature is there. But what we are going to do is let's go ahead and we see that our sale volume is $1.04. We're going to go over here into QuickBooks, because now we know that we'll see that that has automatically been reconciled. So again, it's already $1 not due yet. This due today. Let's see if we can refresh that. All right, hasn't gone through yet. But it does automatically reconcile and match that transaction to that invoice. So let's see. It does take a minute though. All right, let's run another sync. Or actually, I don't need to run another sync. Let me show you guys something real quick. In that customer, because I stored that payment, get out of here. Because I stored that payment, we're going to open up this customer, myself, Jake Holmes, and we'll see that I've got Autopay set up. But we can also see that the stored payment methods are here. And again, it's all truncated. I can't see the full, you as a merchant can't see the full 16 digits. They'll never have access. You don't have to worry about an employee coming in here and being like, okay, I've got access to all these credit cards. No, they just see the last four. And I'll show you the invoices as well. And so we'll see the invoices for that customer. And again, there's nothing open right now, which is awesome. Let me open another invoice that's already open. If somebody were to call and let's say that you sent this invoice out, you sent it to me, I'm a customer and hey, I'm on the road. I saw you sent me that invoice. Can I actually pay over the phone? Yes, you can. They would open up the dashboard, open that invoice, and click this button here, pay invoice. And because this is a different customer, if this was Jake Holmes, you would actually see that stored card. And so while I'm on the phone with that customer, I would say, hey, do you want me to use that card ending in 1048? If not, no, okay, we can create a new transaction or store a new card, but we can create a transaction. And while I'm on the phone, I can take that card information from them and submit that order. Another thing I want to show you is that if some customers are really finicky about the technology fee. They're like, hey, I really want to pay, and we can be lenient for some customers, right? Like, hey, I've got a really long-standing customer. They've been with me for 15 years. We're just kind of introducing this 4% technology fee. He's giving me a hard time, but he still wants to pay by credit card. I'm going to show you that we can actually go through into our customers and change what fees are going to be added to them for the technology fees and different things like that. So under invoice messenger, we'll see that we've got different reminders, but advanced options is going to show us that we'll edit these real quick. We can turn off that technology fee just for this customer. And so that allows you, again, for future references, like, hey, just Bill or just Jake Holmes or just Paul, like he's giving me a hard time for that 4%. I'm just going to turn it off just for him. So we can go in, change it, and update that customer. And so from now on, only that customer, when he receives an invoice, he won't be charged that technology fee. Any questions so far before I continue? All right, perfect. The only other thing is that we'll look at the control panel, the customer defaults. So this is kind of where we can set again, no, get out of my face. What we allow each customer to default to. And again, this would be we can either save these defaults for new customers, or we can save and apply to existing customers, anybody that's in our database already. And that's so that button, whether I allow partial payments. So if I turn that on, now when that invoice comes through, instead of it showing that $1 is blocked off and I can't change that amount, they actually would be able to change that amount if I turn on partial payments. So we're going to keep that off. This late fee, this feature is disabled, but this is also something that is requires the premium version of Biller Genie. Everything that I've showed you so far up until this point is included in the $29 or the $24.99 a month, just the standard Biller Genie version. There is a premium version that allows you to charge late fees, to send reminders. They allow you to set up the late fees to where it's, okay, let's say it's $50 for every 3 days the invoice is late. It sends reminders for those late fees, but those are all just premium features. The invoice messenger allows us to see, again, which defaults are on. So we always want the new invoice email to go out and the paid invoice email to go out. Reminders, that is also something that is a premium feature. So the reminders are something that an upcoming payment is coming out. So if you have somebody that is set to auto pay, we can also notify them 10 days before that payment is about to come. Like, hey, you've got invoices coming here, just to let you know. Obviously, these payment overdue, so 15 days after due date, 30 days. And then the upcoming late fee, if that was on, we would be able to turn that on, and we can change these individual, like how many days it takes. So you can make this completely customizable. Each day can be set. Like, it doesn't have to be 15. It can be 3 days or 10 days or however many days you want to set. Any questions about this portion? All right. The other thing I would be able to show you is the branding. So you have the ability.
Hey, Jake.
Oh my God.
Jake,
Yeah,
I got a question. Go back to that screen you on where it says ignore
sure.
conflicts. What's that about?
Let me see here.
It was on that previous screen. Yeah, where it says ignore conflict. What's the conflicts?
So I have to double check. I believe ignore conflicts would be like if there are multiple invoices for the same amount or multiple invoices. I believe it would be like a double invoice. I'll check with Jerron exactly what that would be though.
Okay, no problem. Appreciate it.
Yep. Cool. All right, let's go back to invoice defaults. And so again, this is everything that you would like to display. We can completely customize all of this. And whether we want to show a note, we appreciate your business, as we saw. Let me go back here. It's already been paid, which is nice. It'll show you that. But if I want to view this invoice, this here, we appreciate your business, is what shows up at the bottom here. So again, just a little nice message that we can put. And then there are 3 different themes as to whether what you would like your invoice to look like. We did like a little team vote, and we all like the classic with the way our logo was set. A lot of people like the modern. Again, it's completely up to you and or your merchant and what they would like their customers to see. But I'll go home real quick, and then we'll go back. Let's see what what QuickBooks has done. Hmm. I'll have to see why that's not syncing. Because it should be, and that's awkward for me to show you a demo and have it not work. Are there any questions as far as how the sync works or what needs to be connected or anything as far as what the merchant would need?
Are there any other accounting systems that this is compatible with?
It does work with Accounting Suite and Xero, but it's spelled Xero.
It does work with Xero?
Does work. Yep, does work with Xero. And let me look at. Yeah, because we're connected to QuickBooks, it's not going to let me show you what else. But yeah, it does connect with Xero and Accounting Suite, and I believe there is one more, and I can send that
When you
info
say
to
accounting
Stephen.
suite, are you talking about like NetSuite?
I believe yes, it's a part of the NetSuite suite, I guess. Sorry, I guess.
Can you find out if Wave is on that list as well?
Is that Wave?
Yep. WAVE.
WAV. I don't think it is. I think there's literally only like four or five accounting softwares, but I'll double check Wave. All right, but cool. That sync has worked. So again, we see that real quick. That $1 has been paid, and it's automatically has been synced to a transaction. So again, we can go in, look at the fact that it's been paid, and then we can go in and view that payment. Oh, okay, I don't have rights. I have to talk to Jerron. Like, dang man, come on, man, I got to show these demos. Anyways, we could go in and view that payment, and it's going to show the transaction number. It's going to show the card details and all the details that were pulled over from Bill or Genie. So again, the accounts receivable departments of the companies or the merchants that you're going to be talking to are going to love this feature, because normally they're used to every morning kind of coming in, looking at the transactions that were posted from the day before, matching them with the invoices and making sure all the details are correct. But now they don't have to do that. It's automatically reconciled for them with the payment details. And they can, again, they probably have the rights to go in and do what I just tried to show you, to at least go in and see and make sure that all that information is correct. But yeah, again, automatically reconciled for them. And what it does do, I know I can't show you this because I know I don't have access to that, but that technology fee, QuickBooks actually creates a separate chart of accounts for the technology fee, and so it separates it for you. So it'll put that dollar into their normal spending or normal account, whatever they would have it in. But then that separate 4 cents would be put into the technology fee, so that at the end of the month they have the technology fee that offsets the credit card, the cost of accepting that credit card.
And question for you: when you say same day clearing, it batches out. You said twice a day, the morning and evening. So let's hypothetically say it'll self batch it then at 11 o'clock. Let's say for morning transactions, right?
Yeah, the morning, I believe, it runs at 10 a.m.
Okay.
And so by 11:30, like if you need to batch out, we would say like you would batch out by 9 o'clock to give enough buffer. It would process at 10 o'clock, and then you would have your money cleared to you by 11:30. The
Okay.
one in the evening, we set our gateways to batch out automatically at 8:30. And then again, that's just enough buffer to get, but because we're not it's a third party batch out. And so
Yeah.
we need time to make sure that all the details go through and all the data gets transferred through. And so then that batches out at, what I say, 8:30, that batches out at 11. And then again, I'm sorry, 10 by 11:30 PM, you've got your money in your account.
Okay.
I got a question. John, can you hear me? John,
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can hear you.
are you seeing the screen? Will this work well for you? Because I figured if you're already using QuickBooks, man, this is probably going to be the best way to process payments moving forward. You don't have to deviate from anything else you already have. Same thing for you, Mike Dominic.
I mean, so for me, it kind of looks like the same operation that I've been using within QuickBooks. I mean, I added in a processing fee without taxing it, on my last invoice. You can save payment information in QuickBooks,
For
so long as
Autopay as well.
as the customer gives you permission to do so. I don't know about like subscription payments or things like that. I haven't looked into recurring, subscription based payment yet
Okay.
within my own QuickBooks, but so I can't answer that, but I don't know if it does or not. But
Yeah, I had a client that we set up as auto pay, so the first of every month that was automatically paid from his credit card within QuickBooks.
The reason why I was asking was because the reconciliation through Biller Genie, it will allow if you guys are going to pass the fee, it will allow the fee to be collected by the processing company, and those funds will never hit your bank account. So you don't have to report it to the IRS's income.
okay,
Gotcha.
I see what you're saying. I mean, I guess so, but
And the ACH
what
is
would
definitely cheaper too, because you've got I know that I'm pretty sure QuickBooks charges 1% up to a certain dollar amount.
20, I think.
Yeah, which again,
Yeah.
with us, it's a flat rate regardless of how much, whatever the charge is for the ACH. So
Correct. And just to confirm, the Gatlic Group is going to adopt what Magathy does. It's just $2 per check. So no matter the amount. So whether it's $100, it's $2. If it's $100,000, it's still $2.
right.
So if I build in, a 3% technology fee through QuickBooks, I still get hit with a 3% fee or 2.9% fee or whatever it is. So I mean that they would still get the processing fee regardless, right?
No, so you would be switching your processing away from the QuickBooks payments, right? So
Correct.
with
No,
QuickBooks,
yeah, I know that. I'm just going back to what he said. So
yeah.
we're just using QuickBooks to set up the invoice, but then it just goes through Biller Genie. Is that what I'm understanding?
You're asking me or Jake?
Jake, whoever's doing the demo,
Jake.
whoever's just speaking.
So
Yeah.
so Jake, he would still be operating everything through QuickBooks. Biller Genie operates on the back end.
Correct. Yeah. Again, like the reason I'm showing you, like a lot of our customers don't even open their Biller Genie account. They don't need to, right? As soon as they've created the invoice in QuickBooks, they save and close, and Biller Genie just takes over in the background. It sends the email, the customer gets that invoice. They either pay by credit card or ACH, And then again, once we run that sync again, QuickBooks sees that transaction and it matches it to the invoice. So yeah, again, you don't need to open Bill or Genie. I'm just kind of showing you for demo purposes in case you need to go in and adjust a customer, or to show you just how granular you can be per customer as well. So
I guess so. Is the true benefit for using Bill or Genie is the passing off of the technology fee, and
yeah,
what's the
being
go
able
ahead,
to
I'm sorry.
compliantly pass over the technology fee. Again, and then as far as like Steven said, that money is separated through QuickBooks. It's not deposited into your account and then you're worried about it at the end of the month, actually separating it. And then again, the automatic reconciliation, just being able to save time on that. So where you're not, yeah.
Here's another thing. Let's say you don't want to pass the fee. Let's say you like, you know what? I'm going to eat the fees. I'm going to eat the fees as a business. Guess what? We can be lower than QuickBooks. So if QuickBooks is charging you 3, depending upon the interchange, we can get you down to maybe 2.25 or 2.35. So it's all based on industry and SIC code. So the good thing is you got one of 2 options. You can pass the fee and save all your credit card processing costs, or you can say, hey, Steve, I'm not comfortable with that. We'll just lower it lower than what you're paying to enter it, and then you're still winning.
Yeah, and we've got clients that have done both as well. Like we have, instead, some they don't want to pass the whole 4%. Maybe they're only comfortable, passing 3 or even less than that, right? We still set them up where even you paying the 1% difference is a lot less than paying 3%, or a lot less than 2.5%, right? So there's a lot of different ways that this is a lot more beneficial to be able to cut down costs on the way that, again, QuickBooks they don't pass through true cost of interchange. They don't care what card it is. They're going to charge you the same percentage regardless.
So at the end of the day, it boils down to choices based on how you want to construct your business. So that's why I wanted you guys to see this, because I think this is going to be a game changer for us. Overall, like I told you guys, 32 million businesses use QuickBooks, and I didn't even know about all these other softwares that you asked about, Paul. But
Yeah, zero.
it's a
I
yeah,
mean, there's no
it's
reason not to use it. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're operating through QuickBooks and I can get a lower rate,
yep, and still use your
I
same
can get
QuickBooks credentials.
I can avoid double entries with my fees. It can automatically populate on my invoice. Um, I mean, it's there's no different of how you operate it now. Only that you're paying less a fee and you're legally and compliantly passing it over, passing it through.